Happiest good morning. I am so excited to be here with you because I want to share a little something that has helped me and will hopefully help you too. And that is just my mini grocery haul. I don't know if you're like me, but I am obsessed with watching people show what they got in their grocery haul. It is such a vibe. I just love it. I'm just nosy like that. So the actual point of this is just to show you the staples, the things that we buy kind of on repeat. There's no kind of about it. We buy these all the time. But as you know, if you have been following me for any amount of time recently, then you know that I have been counting macros. And to make my life as easy as possible, I try to repeat things because it just makes things so super simple. I know what to expect. I know how my body's gonna feel. So that is really what I want to share with you today. This isn't every single thing that we use, but I'm gonna show you a good portion of it. So let's get into it. First up is our greens. So this is just a head of lettuce. This is romaine lettuce. And I have some cilantro, a couple of bunches of this. I love to make a huge salad probably every 3 to 4 days. I mean, when I say we go through greens, we go through some greens. Having greens is so wonderful because these guys do not take up your calories. They just don't. You can pretty much eat all the lettuce you want, all the greens, like a nice big lettucey leafy salad. Add that to any one of your meals and you just pack your body with a lot of micronutrients, which you desperately need, you know, the minerals and the vitamins and all the things. I love to make a salad with different lettuces. So I'll do romaine, I might do some green leaf, some red leaf, definitely cilantro. I love the healing properties of cilantro, throw them in there. They are so great for my hormones. They have helped my body so much. I also have some celery in this order and some carrots. So I don't put those guys in my salad, not because I don't like them, but I really use these guys for soup. So I've been making homemade chicken soup and I love to throw these in to, number one, build up my chicken stock. So I'll make the stock first. And then when I make the core of my soup with the chicken and the potatoes and the things, I will also throw in some more celery and carrot. Also, what I love is that these are just simple ingredients. They are not breaking the caloric bank. Every one of my calories, every one, means something important to me because I don't have a ton of them. You know, I'm not living the 1200 calorie life. I'm just not. But I am living the 1600 calorie life. And you would be surprised at how quickly you burn through 1600 calories. They all matter. So when I'm cooking, I do try to keep things super simple and use really flavorful ingredients, but ingredients that are not going to break my caloric bank, if you know what I mean. The next thing I have is some organic onions. Adding onions is such a great way to just throw in a ton of flavor and not break the caloric bank. Next up, I have some turmeric root. So my Whole Foods happens to have the actual root and I love it. So fantastic, such an anti-inflammatory agent, this guy. It is just incredible. But really to put it in everything, I love it. I typically cook with the powdered version unless I'm making an Indian dish and then I will grate it into my dish. But the powdered version I also love. Word of caution though, turmeric really stains. It is very orange in color and it will stain your soul. So please just be careful. Next up, I have these herbs. So if you followed my channel in the spring and summer, then you know I was growing a garden and doing all the things and I didn't have a lot of success, but my herbs were on and popping. They were so good. It's now end of November and they are non-existent. So this time around, I love to get rosemary, thyme, oregano. There might be another one in there, sage. Those are my core, my favorites. I love those so much. This time around, I think this is lemon thyme, which is one of the things that I grew this summer. It is so good. So I will use some of this to roast potatoes. I will use some of this if I make a whole chicken in the air fryer. I just kind of stuff the cavity of the chicken. I will use some thyme when I make my chicken stock. So much beautiful flavor. The next herb bundle I have is this roasting blend. So same thing, this one has parsley, rosemary, thyme. I think there's some oregano in here, but just getting these blends, it is so great. You can add the herbs to your salads. And like I said, the roasted potatoes, your chicken that you're air frying, whatever, but there's no calories in here. You can add heaps of flavor just with using your herbs. fantastic. Moving on, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite foods in the entire world, and that is the Yukon Gold potato. It is this guy right here. We get potatoes every single week. I love these gold guys because they are just softer. They're like creamier when you steam them up. I love them. If I could bring them to bed with me and read them a little story at night, I would do it because I love them so much. I love to roast these guys, but really my go-to when I'm making potatoes is to steam them. They retain the most moisture. I feel like my body just does the best. My body responds the best when they are steamed because they do still have so much of their moisture. When you bake something, you roast it, you air fry it, you are zapping a lot of the moisture out. And I'm not saying my body doesn't like that, but I notice that I feel better. I actually feel fuller, longer when I do a steamed potato. So steamed potatoes, love them. You've seen me make these. I throw them in my Instant Pot, a little bit of water at the bottom. Depending on how many potatoes I have, I will just like zap that baby and like within, I don't know, easily 20 minutes, depending on how much is going on in there. These guys are ready and we have potatoes for days. Moving on, let's talk about the beautiful avocado. I am obsessed with avocados. I'm here to tell you that I am saddened by the avocado because in my macros, if you have ever counted macros, then you're allotted only so many grams of protein, carbs, and fats per day, and you get like your overall calories for the day, and those are your limits pretty much, right? Like stay in there. Avocados have a lot of fat, and I have learned along the way, my body doesn't do well with a lot of fat in my diet. When I keep things higher in carbohydrates and lower in fat, I feel my best. I feel wide awake. I feel strong. I feel just like I'm just functioning at optimal levels, if you know what I mean. So not saying like the avocado is bad for me, not at all, but I do have to eat it in moderation. So if I have avocado in a day, I can maybe have like a quarter of an avocado or an eighth of an avocado, and then I feel good. I don't feel overstuffed. I don't feel bloated. I feel perfection. So I did get a couple because I am craving like an avo toast with some eggs, and will I be able to pull that off? I don't know, because eggs also are pretty fatty. So this is not turning into a happy story for me. I can see that right now. So moving on, avocados, they are fantastic. This is a wonderful fat to include in your diet. If you like an avocado, you can mash it up, put it on your toast. You can just slice it and have it in your salad. I mean, you can eat an avocado in so many different ways. So delicious. So moving on, I do have some tomatoes. So I have these Romas, and I also have these Flavor Bursts that are just these like little cherry tomatoes on a vine. And when I tell you the Flavor Burst name is perfection, it is perfection. These little guys are so sweet and amazing and delicious. I cannot say enough. So I love to get these to throw in my salad. I can eat them whole. I'll just like grab a handful and throw them in my salad. They're amazing. The Romas I love for slicing and putting on like a sandwich, putting in a wrap, in burritos, whatever, on top of some avocado toast. I just love tomatoes. And again, the thing I love is that these guys are not breaking the caloric bank, which I desperately need. So to bulk up my meals, I love to throw in heaps and heaps of greens, throw in tomatoes. If I'm gonna have avocado, like I said, I will do just a little bit. I will have potatoes with my meals, and I am a happy girl. Last on my list is bananas. I love bananas so much. This I find to be such a fantastic snack. These guys are high in carbohydrates. I will just tell you right now, in case you didn't know, I had no idea until I started counting my macros. And then I realized how many carbs and calories are in a banana. So just be cautious if you have a limitation and maybe you're lower in carbs. But bananas, so fantastic. Another whole food, super healing food. My go-to always is going to be whole foods, but this is our produce section. Now let's move on to the rest. This next section is a little bit smaller, but that's because it's just a mini haul. It's a mini haul. So let me start off with this milk. This is my new favorite, and it is the hazelnut milk from Elmhurst. Listen, let me tell you what the ingredients are. Are you ready? Filtered water and hazelnuts. That is it. filtered water, and hazelnuts. It is so super clean, and Elmhurst actually makes several different types of milk. They have almond and oat milk and all kinds of different things. I chose the hazelnut. Number one, I like the flavor, but second, of their milks that they offer up, this one has the lowest calories. There may be one other that is a little bit lower, but I like this one the best. So for 8 fluid ounces, it is 90 calories, 9 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 2 proteins. So aside from the ingredients, which are incredibly important to me, I really have to pay attention to the calories and all of the macros. So this works really, really well for me. Going along with the hazelnut milk is these sprouted oats. So we have gotten into a habit now of having protes for breakfast, which is protein oats. And we prep this like a few days in advance, and I will show you all of this in another video. But our favorite oats to use are these sprouted oats. I have found that the sprouted oats actually make me feel better. Regular gluten-free rolled oats, I do fine with them, but they do have a tendency to make me feel a little bit bloated. The sprouted, for whatever reason, just makes my body feel better. I don't feel the bloat. I don't feel tired. I feel really, really good when I have these. So I will do the sprouted oats, which these are gluten-free. The only ingredient here is sprouted organic gluten-free oats. That's it. So this definitely does my body good. When I make my overnight oats, I use some of this. I use my Elmhurst hazelnut milk, my protein powder, which I will definitely talk more about in a different video, but I have found the golden ticket. She is delicious and she makes my body feel so good. Next up, I have some lemon juice. So I love a whole food, I do, but lemons are, sometimes they can be hit or miss. I'm not finding good lemons right now. I'm just not. So it is so much easier for me to just get a bottle of this organic, like straight up lemon juice. There's nothing else in here, and use this for my lemon water. I have found that one of the things that has been the most helpful for me on this journey has been making sure that I stay hydrated. So every single night I prep jars of water that I will consume the following day. It just helps me to stay on track. I can see how many jars I have left and know that I need to up my game, you know? Hydration, super important. It really helps to, number one, hydrate your organs, your cells, and it helps just flush out toxins. And then lemon juice. And again, I know the recommendation is really to use a real lemon, a whole food. This does not have the same nutrients that a whole lemon does, but it is a close second, and this is just really convenient for me right now. So this is what I am gravitating toward. So let's move on so we can finish this grocery haul. We have made it to one of my favorite sections, and that is our protein section. So earlier when we were talking about the produce, I did talk about the chicken soup that I make. So I buy this organic, whole, air-chilled chicken. So I will just throw this guy in there and shred it all up, and he is good to go. The other thing I love to do with a whole chicken is to season it up, throw it in the air fryer, and we have chicken that we can use in all kinds of things. We can make wraps and salads and tacos and you name it. Fan-frickin-tastic. Sticking with the chicken, we have some chicken breasts. So we go through chicken breast like it's our job. We really do. And here's what I have figured out on this journey. Chicken breast is your best friend. And here's why. My favorite go-to chicken is skin on, bone in chicken thighs. I love them. I love them so much. Just like I express my love for the Yukon Gold potato, that's how I feel about a skin on, bone in chicken thigh. However, that girl is high in calories and definitely breaking the bank on the fat. I mean, definitely breaking the bank. So I had to really pull that in, really pump the brakes on the skin on, bone in chicken thigh, because I couldn't have a lot of it and it was really hurting my protein count for the day. I was struggling. I was having a really hard time. So enter the chicken breast, skinless, boneless, but still delicious. My next magic trick, chicken thighs, yes. So you know, as I just said, I love a skin on, bone in chicken thigh, but the skinless, boneless chicken thigh, equally as delicious, I have to say. I was pleasantly surprised. This has never been my go-to ever. I love the other version, but like I said, it was just hurting me. I couldn't have a lot of it to help like boost up my protein for the day. But this guy, this is delicious. And one of the things I love about chicken thighs is that they retain so much flavor. Like they just on their own, because they are fattier, they just have so much flavor. And then you add delicious flavor to them, the right seasonings and whatever, and you're just, my mouth might be watering, but delicious. We go through chicken thighs like crazy, just like the chicken breast. And honestly, the way I map out my day when I am calculating my macros for the day is I actually do end up having more chicken thighs than I do chicken breast. For example, I might have 4 ounces of chicken thighs at lunch and 1 ounce of chicken breast. And that might bring me somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 grams of protein for my lunch, which is perfection. So chicken breast, chicken thighs, I am obsessed with. And then this whole chicken, of course. Last but not least, I want to talk about the next thing, and that is ground beef. So if you watched this video where I did food prep, I cooked some shaved ribeye that I get from Walmart. It is so delicious, packed full of flavor. I love a ribeye. I love a ribeye. But a ribeye, a lot of calories, a lot of fat. So it is very, very hard to make ribeye work in my current state. So for me to have ribeye and make it work in my day, I can have like 1 to 2 ounces, which that's not gonna get me anywhere. I need to get my protein count up to make sure that I am getting sufficient protein to, 1, support my body, support my muscles, and have me feeling good and moving around. So enter the ground beef. And it's not just any ground beef. This is a 93.7 ground beef. And what that means is that it is 93% lean and 7% fat. So we will get the 93.7 and we can make some smash burgers with that, just like 1/4 pound for each one of us. Make a smash burger, have it with some steamed potatoes and a nice big salad, or we just make ground beef and season it up with some chili powder and garlic and onions and all the things, and have like taco salads, or I mean, you can do so much with it. But to have red meat, we figured out that this is the best way for us to do it, because this actually fits, because it is leaner, it has less fat in it, so works like a charm. So I did say earlier that this mini grocery haul is really the core things that we have, like time after time after time. We eat these things pretty much every single day. The way that I keep it fresh and I keep it from becoming boring is with seasonings. So let me show you some of the things that I got this week so that I can just change things up a little bit, give things a little bit of a different flavor, and just kind of like rejuvenate our taste buds. So this week, when I was doing the grocery shopping and putting my cart together online, I did buy some seasonings because they're on sale and we use them all the time. So I figured, why the heck not? So those would be like this onion powder. We use onion powder all the time. Chili powder. This is great if you're making your ground beef and you want to give it like a little heat and that like smoky flavor. Chili powder, delicious. And turmeric powder, because turmeric is life. Aside from these guys, let me tell you about these blends. I am not really a person who gravitates towards seasoning blends. And the reason why is because I feel like they're just a little overpriced. I could get all the individual seasonings and make my own blend, but let's be real, I don't often do that, right? So I figured, why not just spend like an extra $1 and get the seasoning blend that's already put together, try it out, see how I like it. So this time around, we are trying this chimichurri, and it is, I mean, what does this have in it? Let me tell you. There's garlic, there's parsley, onion, chili flakes, oregano, black pepper, basil, and bay leaf. So this is so delicious, but this has been the thing that I have been putting on the chicken breast. And then I add some of this guy. So this is a salt citrus blend, and this has fresh herbs, lemon peel, and spice infused salt. So when I put this on the chicken breast to season it, I will also do some of this citrus blend to give it the salt, because this does not have any salt in it. I just had to double check. I don't want to be wrong, but so delicious. The other thing, and this one I am actually trying for the first time, is this shawarma blend. And this one this is a Mediterranean blend, but I have found that instead of constantly doing, say, like salt, pepper, garlic, just to throw something different in really changes the flavor of the meat. So because we are constantly making chicken breasts and chicken thighs, using a seasoning blend is the way to go. But that is a really great way to change things up. And like I said, we're like almost 2 months into this journey now. We're at the end of November pretty much, like pre-Thanksgiving. So on December 1st, it will officially be the start of our 3rd month that we are on this journey. So just in this little bit of time, we have learned a lot about what works for us, what doesn't work for us, how to make our day balance in terms of calories, fat, protein, and carbohydrates. So I feel like that was a mouthful, but this is just really it's a really good representation of the way that we eat day to day. So I typically love to get in the kitchen and cook and like create new things, and I don't measure, and I just like go off the cuff, and I'm just a rogue girl. It makes me so happy. That's not the life I'm living right now, because I have to be careful, because I need to count everything and make sure that I am staying within the boundaries of my plan right now, and it's working. So that is our mini grocery haul and my ridiculous in-depth explanations about everything and why we use these things. So I hope that it was helpful for you. I would love to hear your comments, your feedback, and all of your questions, because it really helps me to know what kind of videos you want to see. So if you would drop all of that stuff in the comments below, I would super appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you did, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, you subscribe, and you click that notification bell, because all of that really supports my channel and it means the world to me. I will see you next time. Mwah.